In the last video, we learned about stocks. We saw that companies like Apple issue stocks. You can buy shares of the company. That means you own parts of Apple. If Apple becomes more valuable, you make more money over time. That's a stock. As we also said, stocks come with risks. If companies lose money, they become less valuable, you can lose money too if you buy their stock. Well, what if instead of just buying Apple stock, you also buy shares in other companies? What if you also buy stock in Samsung? You also buy stock in Facebook, in Amazon. Well, if you buy stocks in all of these companies, then it's less likely that all the companies will lose money over time. Maybe tech stocks like Apple and Samsung are losing money, but maybe Amazon's doing better, for example. So if you can buy lots of different stocks, that will be called diversification. It helps reduce your risk. You probably won't make as much money if you get lucky, but you're also not as likely to lose as much money because chances are not all the stocks will lose a lot of money will lose value at the same time. Problem is, how can you afford to buy stocks in Apple and Samsung and Facebook and in Amazon? Really, to do that diversification world, you want to buy stocks in many different companies. Well, one thing you can do is, here's you. What if you can find lots of other people who are looking to invest their money? And you put all your money together. If you do that, you have a much larger pool of money that you can use. With that much larger pool of money, you can buy lots of different stocks and help reduce your risk and diversify. When you do that, that's called a mutual fund. Mutual means coming together. Fund just means money. With a mutual fund, you're going to find somebody else, a financial professional, who buys the stocks for you. And, you pay them a little bit of money to help take care of the mutual fund. So mutual funds are usually less risky than stocks because of diversification. Of course, with situations like the coronavirus, if pretty much all companies lose value, mutual funds will also lose value. But not as much as if you just buy individual stocks. That's much riskier. However, you're going to have to pay someone to help take care of your mutual fund. How much do you pay? Well, that's captured by what's called the expense ratio. How much of that money in your mutual fund is spent paying that person? That's the expense ratio. So the lower the expense ratio, the better it is. The less you're paying someone to manage your money. There are different types of mutual funds. Some are actively managed. That means that if it's actively managed, that means that there's someone there always looking after your account, trying to make more money for the mutual fund. But what we've actually found is that financial professionals don't actually do better than average. So instead, there are these other mutual funds called index funds. The idea is that there's this thing called an index. For example, in the US, we have the S&P. We have the S&P 500. That tracks the stock prices of 500 of the biggest companies in America, Apple, Amazon, and so forth. So it's a number that can go up and down. For example, as of this video, S&P 500 index is at about 2,837, and if a bunch of companies are doing well, it will go up. If companies are doing poorly, it will go down. So this tracks kind of like how the whole economy is doing. The index funds just says very simple. If it's a S&P 500 index fund, it just basically effectively buys stocks in all of these companies, so that if the economy is doing better, the S&P 500 index goes up, the index fund makes money. If the S&P 500 goes down, the index fund loses money. In general, the S&P 500 index will go up faster than if you just put money in the bank. So it's a better investment than just putting money in the bank. Because it's simple, it's just buying a whole bunch of stocks. The expense ratio is going to be lower in general because you don't need someone actively buying and selling stocks for you. So it has cheaper expenses, but it's a much better investment than putting money in the bank. Personally, I'm a big fan of index funds. If you are risk averse, if you're afraid of risk, and you don't want to put too much money in single companies, index funds are really the way to go. You can make a lot more. Your investments grow a lot faster over time with index funds than just by putting your money in the bank. So index funds are relatively safe. I mean, they will go down when the economy does poorly, but not as risky as stocks. But they make you more money than putting it in the bank. Companies like Vanguard in particular offers a lot of different index funds available for sale. Online, I will also give you links to places, to websites of companies that sells mutual funds. That's it for today.